Hi guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you my homeschool Goodwill haul. I've tried to be very formal for this video several times and I'm just not a formal girl. So I guess that's one of the things that you can look forward to on my YouTube channel. There will be a lot of informal videos. Anyway, I was just excited to share with you all the wonderful books that I found for our homeschool year coming up. So I am a homeschooling mom of 4, 3 of which are school age, and I try to be as frugal as possible wherever I can. So a lot of times that means shopping at Goodwill and at our local thrift store whenever I have the time to do so. And so yesterday I kind of feel like I kind of struck gold, so in my opinion. But anyhow, I picked up 43 books for under $45, so I call that a good thrifting Goodwill day. So I'm going to flip the camera around so I can show you all what I got. I'm going to give you a quick little scan of the table to give you an idea of what all I got. And like I mentioned, there's over 43 items here, and I got them all for under $45. So I'm going to start up here at the top because it's the smallest, and it's actually what I purchased from the local thrift store. As I ran into it, I'm thinking I come across a retired teacher's stash is what I'm thinking. These are some brand new condition workbooks, but they are older. I'm not sure like the copy print on some of these, but I do know some of the books was dating back to like 1976, so I definitely think that I come across a retired teacher's stash. So I went ahead and grabbed this one because we will be doing the human anatomy actually next year with Apologia. So for 50 cents, I figured this would be a nice little resource to have on the bookshelf until then. But I can go through and I can make copies to have a supplemental worksheet to go along with whatever we're studying at the time. So for 50 cents, I just could not pass it up. This one is a long division workbook, same thing. This one was 25 cents, but I have a son that is junior high age, and so therefore these are things that he is covering. We do teaching textbooks disc as far as math goes, and so this will be a nice little resource if I see that he's having issues with anything that I can pull and supplement with. Same thing with this one. It is a basic skills and metrics workbook, just blank sheets that I can make copies of, just something to have on the bookshelf just in case you need it. You never know. So this book was actually pretty neat. It's actually an Abeka science book, so it is almost like an encyclopedia as far as the way that it's laid out and things. So we will actually be doing astronomy this year, and so as I flipped through this book and I realized all the wonderful maps and a lot of the information that it had, I just figured that it would be a wonderful resource for us to be able to study and add to our Apologia astronomy course that we will be doing together this year. So another one of those resources that is just nice to have on the bookshelf. This is a Wordly Wise spelling book. We do not currently do Wordly Wise, but whenever I seen this, once again, it's a brand new workbook, but it is from 1976. But I figured if I ever needed some resources or just needed something to kind of fill in the gaps with anything, this is blank. I can always go through and make copies of it for the kids. So I think I paid 50 cents for this one. So that's what I picked up at the local thrift store. And the rest of this come between two Goodwills. There's two Goodwills about, I would say, about 15 minutes from each other. In the bigger cities, that's about an hour from us. So I do not go very often. So when I go, I do try to hit both Goodwills. So I'll start on this side of the table. We will be doing Story of the World Volume 1 this year. So I went with looking for ancient literature in mind. I did not find a whole lot. These 3 books are actually the only 3 history resources that I was able to pick up. But this one is a reader. It's called The Bronze Bow. It's in pretty good condition, so I figured this would be a nice little reader to have on the bookshelf. This is the Kids World Almanac of History, just one of those resources as we're studying certain things that I can flip through and pull some extra information to go along with it. So I just figured this will actually cover us for probably the next several years in history. So a wonderful resource to have on hand at all times. This one is very visual, so I figured it would be a good one. In the beginning of this one, it really covers the Egyptians and things, which is what we will be studying. So I figured this would be a nice visual for the kids to kind of be looking at and going through as we're studying the Egyptians and pyramids, just all about how they lived, So, and also Greece. It goes into the Romans also. So it really covered a good portion of what we will be studying in the Story of the World Volume 1 History this year. So for $1, I could not pass these up. All of the Goodwill books were 99 cents and under. So, and like I said, all of this come from Goodwill. So a lot of these are just extra readers. We are building a home library, basically. We are avid book lovers in this family, and so we do have Kindles. All of our kids have Kindles, but it's more so for gaming purposes occasionally and not for reading. We really like to have a paper in hand type of book, and our kids actually enjoy reading that way also. So we have a smaller library that's close by, but I honestly am a library failure when it comes to that. I am the world's worst about returning books and things, so we are really on a mission just to kind of build our own library. So that's what I kind of keep in mind when I'm out and about and looking for books. So of course we got a classic of Anne of Green Gables. This was in pretty good condition to have on the bookshelf. This one is one I thought that my boys would be interested in. This one is one of a series. It's brand new. It's from Scholastics. So I thought that my daughter would maybe be interested in this book, and if she is, we can kind of look for the other ones in the series if that's the case. Johnny Appleseed, we will be actually studying this one day in the fall, and I actually plan on taking my kids to Arkansas to be able to pick apples. But also I am teaching co-op, pre-K at our local co-op this next year. We of course will be doing a Johnny Appleseed day there, so I thought this would be a nice little resource. Again, with this right here will come into play for our Dr. Seuss day at co-op this next year for my pre-K class I will be teaching. So that was another thing I was keeping in mind as I was out and about shopping, was looking for things also that I could use for my pre-K class. These are just some readers on hand. I try to make sure that we have a variety of things that I feel like my kids would be interested in reading. We want to raise readers because we feel like if we raise readers, we will always have learners. Because if you can read and you can enjoy reading, then you will always be a constant student and always constantly learning. And so on top of reading things that are beneficial for their mind and for their growth, we also want them to just truly enjoy reading and reading things that are of interest of them. So that's really what our bookshelves are made up of. A lot of times are things that our kids just genuinely enjoy. So with that being said, that's kind of what I keep in mind as I'm picking up readers for the kids. So we have most of the Magic Tree House. I did know that we did not have this one, so I added it to the collection. This is just one of those readers that I thought one of the kids would be interested in. Again, both of those. Wonderful, fantastic. A lot of these are Scholastic readers, so most of them are in really good condition. And then coming down here, I've actually had the boxcar set in my cart on Amazon for probably about 1.5 years, and I'm not taking the plunge to purchase it because I was really hoping I could come across them used. This is kind of a scattered set of 4 of them. They're all out of order, but I figured it would be a nice little start to the collection. They were in great condition. I remember reading these as a kid, so I've really been wanting to add these to our collection to be on the bookshelf for our kids to be able to pull from. And the Babysitters Club. I think all the girls from the late 80s and early 90s remember reading these books. These were really big, but these are actually the Babysitter's Little Sister series. So for my 8-year-old going on 9-year-old, I figured these would be perfect for her, and I actually found several of them. So I'm excited to kind of see her get started on them and see what she thinks about them, because I absolutely love the Babysitter Club series whenever I was her age and a little bit older. So the Little House on the Prairie set. I think every homeschooling mama has this book set on her bookshelf. I have been lagging with buying it. Once again, it's one of those things that has been in my Amazon cart. This set is almost $40 with tax and everything on Amazon. So I've not taken the plunge to purchase it because I was really hoping that I could find a used set. And so I almost walked away from this set today because of the covers and how damaged they were. But I was thinking less than 99 cents for each of these books, or less than $1, should I say. I think I paid right at 99 cents for all of them. I really just went ahead and decided to grab them. I think what I'm going to do is just add contact paper to the covers to try to preserve them for as long as possible. This one is definitely in the worst condition, so I'm thinking what I'll do is just try to replace this one out of this set if I come across it. These all, I think if I put the contact paper on them, then we can preserve them and make them last. I absolutely love Little House on the Prairie. We actually have the whole set on DVD. My kids have watched every one of them. They love them. So I'm not sure why it took me so long to finally take the plunge and get these in our home. These two puzzles are actually from my pre-K class. Like I mentioned before, I'll be teaching 2 hours of pre-K at our local co-op this next year. So I needed some things to kind of be time gap fillers for them that were also educational. We will be doing a farm day. So this one is a farm animals puzzle. Sorry for the glare. My light is shining. And then this one is just an alphabet train one. So I figured both of these would just be great to have on hand for those days when things can kind of get chaotic with a bunch of 3- and 4-year-olds in a classroom. This book right here is quite interesting. It's a National Geographic Society book. I'm not sure how old this book is, but I'll definitely tell you in the back is a cassette tape, so therefore that kind of dates it and tells you. I'm not even sure if I can find anything to play the cassette tape on. But this is really neat because it covers natural disasters, and it is a pop-up interactive book, and all pieces were with it, so it made it a really great find. So I really think even if we don't do an actual like unit study on it or really dive into this much in science, that my kids are just really going to enjoy flipping through and learning. So for $1.98, which is what I paid for this book, I figured I could not beat it. I thought it was an amazing resource to have on the bookshelves. I find myself playing with it, so I know that my kids are going to be playing with it. There's just a ton of like flaps and things for you to do, just very interactive. Just a really neat book. So for $1.98, I definitely could not pass it up. So anyway, I thought it was pretty neat. But yeah, just to show you, there's a cassette tape in the back, so that kind of dates it. I didn't find a date on it anywhere, but I think that kind of tells us that it's kind of out of date, but it's really neat, and I thought the kids would enjoy it. So that one was $1.98. Up here at the top, I did grab 3 of the plain white binders at Goodwill. They are 99 cents there. They're in brand new like condition, and so I'm always organizing with binders, so I figured that would be a great thing to just add a few of these. We are avid hunters and animal lovers in our family. We actually live on 40 acres here in Louisiana. My husband and all 3 of my big kids hunt, and I just figured this would be a really good book for them. They're all about studying, especially deer and wildlife and things like that. So this tells you when animals change clothes, and it goes into depth talking about the process and what actually takes place. And so it was a really nice thing. I think this is going to be one of those things that my kids are just going to pick up on a whim just to be able to study and read. And the last thing that I picked up today was a bingo game. My kids, like I stated earlier, use teaching textbooks for their main math course, but I like to incorporate different games and things for them to be able to do during and throughout the week and things like that. We do try to do at least 2 games a week, whether it be a bingo or a flashcard or popcorn or some kind of game of that sort, to kind of reiterate some of the things that they're covering. So whenever I seen this, I do have a son going into 7th grade. I know it's kind of sad, but I just wanted something that was going to be a little bit more challenging for him because he does have younger siblings. He tends to, get stuck playing things that are a little bit behind what his age level is, and so I thought that this would be a good one. It's going to be challenging for them, probably a little hard for my daughter, but it's going to be good for him because it's going to be more on course of what he will be studying and what he will be doing in math. So with that being said, this is our homeschool library book haul from the Goodwill and from a thrift store. So thank you for joining. If you enjoy these types of videos, please stick around as I plan on adding more, and I will be sharing in the days to come what our homeschool choices are for the 2017-2018 homeschooling year. I will also be sharing some planning tips in the way that I like to plan and organize things. So if you are interested in those types of things, please hit that subscribe button below and join us and follow along. Thank you.